Vinny was just 10 years old when he was diagnosed with a very rare tumor. Vinny's determination, strength, and bravery, in partnership with the incredible support of his family, helped to see him through. And he is here tonight to tell us a bit about his incredible journey. Please join me in welcoming Vinny Cusimano.
Before I start my speech, I want to thank you guys for coming, and I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me. But I'll get started. Done with my other stuff. But as said previously, my name is Vinny Cusimano. I'm a 12-year-old in 7th grade at the Platelet Middle School. I live with my mom, dad, and 9-year-old brother Tommy. They're also here with me tonight. Over there, give them a round of applause. In October of 2022, my life changed. My family and I were having a normal weekend. My grandma was coming over to watch my brother and I while my parents were going to the Rangers game. As an Island fan, I'm going to say the Rangers. But that whole weekend changed with the blink of an eye. I'd gone to the bathroom and there was a lot of blood. I told my mom and dad right away. They called the pediatrician because it was a Sunday afternoon. The doctor told us to go to the ER. He wasn't overly concerned. He thought I just had some kidney stones or an infection. When we got to the ER, the doctors had a hard time figuring out what was wrong. Other than the blood, all my tests were coming back normal, until I had an ultrasound of my kidneys. They found a mass inside of my right kidney. 2 days later, I was walking into the operating room with my mom and getting ready to have my whole right kidney removed. Spent a week in the ICU recovering, but luckily, I got to go home from the hospital before Halloween. Just a few days later, I was back out trick-or-treating with my friends. But however, a week later, my parents got a phone call that the tumor in my kidney was something very rare, and it was not the kind of tumor that the doctors originally thought. To give you a little perspective on how rare that tumor is, the statistic I found on my own research was that I was one of 54 people over age 5 ever recorded to have this tumor. So stuff was a little bit crazy after that phone call. I had to go back to the oncologist and had a ton of new tests run. Did everything from a brain scan, MRI, to bone scans. I had to meet with the radiation doctor, and I had to get 3 tattoos along my stomach so they knew where to point the lasers for radiation. That one hurt a lot, but it was definitely a lot of stuff. I started chemo and radiation 15 days after they removed my kidney, and I had a total of 17 rounds of radiation and 32 weeks of chemo. If any of you guys know anyone that's gone through chemo, you know it does a lot of bad stuff to the body. I was tired, weak, felt horrible around the time. My friends and family were always there to help me through it though. Couldn't have gotten through it without them. One of the other things chemo does is shut down your bone marrow from working properly. I always knew when I needed a blood transfusion. I feel tired, but not a normal type of tired. And I would go into the doctor and they'd give me a blood transfusion. I had exactly 14. And whenever I'd wake, I'd always take a nap during mine, and then I'd wake up feeling 1,000 times better. But what I really needed most of was platelets. Over the course of my treatments, I needed a total of 18 platelet transfusions. There's times that my platelet number would come back as 1. To give you an idea of how bad that was, normally your platelet count should be anywhere between 150 and 400. Platelets are the slowest and last of all the blood cells to regenerate. So there are times that I would get platelet transfusions more than once a week to keep me safe. In order to safely get chemo, my platelet count would need to be at least 75. So toward the end of my treatment, when my bone marrow was really beat up, my treatment would get delayed by more than a week. At times, because my platelet count wouldn't come up, I bruised really easily. Normally, I had black and blue marks somewhere along my body because my platelets are so low. My mom panicked when my platelets were low, and during that time, I ended up losing a tooth. She was super worried that the bleeding wouldn't stop. It did, by the way. I was fine. She just overreacted. And when I was allowed to go to school, I couldn't play in gym class because my platelet count was, again, too low, and the risk of a small injury turning into something very big was way too high. And the point of me telling you all this is so that if you don't realize the importance of platelets, I can tell you how important they are to somebody like me. There was never a question when my doctor told me that I needed a transfusion if there was going to be one of the platelets available. I knew my parents tell me that New York Blood Center always needs donations, and this is the reason why. I am the reason why. And I'm standing here today talking to all of you about my story because all of you have helped me get here. I'm pretty sure that I've gotten at least one of your donations at some point. I can't thank you all enough for your generosity. I know donating platelets is not as fast as the process of donating blood, and I know everyone is busy, but the fact that you guys have all taken the time out of your busy lives to come and just donate is amazing, and I'm super grateful for it. My recovery would not have been what it was if it was not for all of you. But when I started getting better, my family and I knew that we had to give back in some way. Cancer is such a negative thing in this world, and we want to replace all of that negativity with something positive. We started a nonprofit called Vinny's Army. We help other kids who are battling cancer and their families. So even though I'm happy to report that I personally am cancer-free, there are many other children and adults out there still battling, and they need your continuous support. So please keep doing what you're doing. You're all shining stars in my world. Thank you all so much for letting me speak, and thank you all for taking the time to listen to me.
This right here